Like the biggest thing I'm seeing now is our rib cages are becoming more and more compressed,
Wow.
and our collarbones are becoming more and more narrow.
Wow.
So my concept here, free your fascia. So at the stretch space, we work with the fascial system.
Fascia. Okay.
Free your fascia. So your fascia is your...
Hey community, I'm here with Carolyn, stretch professional therapist and movement, right? Movement.
Mm-hmm.
She owns and is co-founder of a Stretch Space, a place for wellness here in Vancouver, BC. How are you, Carolyn?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, I would love to hear a little bit of your background. What put you in this place and in this career, and what actually motivates you to run this business every day?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Well, I've been obsessed with human movement since I think as long as I've had a body. So since I was a small baby child, I was always moving around, exploring dance and music and movement. And that led me to study dance quite intensely when I was a kid and a teenager. And I pursued dance professionally. I trained in New York City at a very high level school and had about a 10-year career doing performing, teaching, choreography, and just trying to make it in that world. Yeah, so through that, I developed a very deep relationship with my own body and just always had a fascination of how bodies work and how to optimize movement.
Love that.
Yeah.
You talk about a deep relation with the body. What does that deep relation means for you, right? Like, it's actually that connection that you feel that probably people out there that doesn't have that connection can't feel.
Yeah, well, this is like what I teach now and what I help people with through the body work and wellness work that I do. So yeah, I mean, it's such a personal thing, right? And everybody has their own history with their body. The body carries all of the stories of our life. And the body, I like to say, is always telling us what it needs. And it always knows what it's doing. So, you know, we live in a world that I think really supports mental and cerebral function. Thanks to the screens and the computers. And, you know, there's a lot of things in this world that are taking our energy and taking our presence outside of us. So for me, working with the body is all about bringing that energy back into yourself and learning how to tune into the sensations that you feel, learning to tune into your structure, and learning how to honor what your body is saying to you.
Lovely. So you talk about mental health. What actually are big changes that you have seen in people that you teach or people that you work with in your daily life, where maybe you can see them more calm, or maybe they are, I don't know, more concentrated? What are some mental, things that people develop when they start knowing their bodies?
Yeah, it's very transformative work. And I work with people of all ages. But I'd say a lot of my clients that I see at my studio, where I do stretch therapy and breath work and somatic movement, are kind of in that middle-aged, like, I don't know, 40s to 60s. That's not to say I don't work with people outside of that range, but unfortunately, these are the people who tend to show up the most because their bodies have been screaming at them, right? So I've worked with a lot of older people who maybe spent 20, 30 years ignoring their body because they prioritized their work, their business, their careers, and their body was the last thing on their to-do list. But then over time, the whispers turn into screams. And before you know it, you have this pain and that pain. And, you know, I see people come in with very like twisted posture and structures. So when that starts to free up and we start to find better alignment within our structure, then the energy and information in our body can flow more freely. And that just opens ourselves up to becoming more of who we actually are. So yeah, I've seen lots of transformation. But yeah, I know your audience is a bit more on the younger side. So I love to share with younger people in their 20s and 30s, like, please don't wait until your body starts screaming at you. Listen to the whispers and just learn about yourself, learn about your body.
So yeah, one of the things that you were just saying is that about people, and I would say primarily young people, early 20, early 30 years old. They focus a lot on the work, on the hustle, on the full-time job, on running my business, on looking for more money. And sometimes that, unless you're in the wellness space, it means you got to be in front of the computer, bad posture, things that actually do not help your body, right? What would you say is like, well, where's one advice that you will recommend them to these people that have limited time to do?
As I say this, I'm going to adjust my posture.
Okay.
Because
We're both doing it.
well,
Okay.
because, I actually talk about this a lot, but I'm quite passionate about helping people learn to use technology in a healthy way.
Obviously,
and how to orient like your structure with your environment. So just because maybe your job or your money-making activities kind of force you to be in this like typing position all day, that doesn't mean you have to succumb to that, right? So like a chair like this, for example, it's actually best to sit more towards the edge of the chair so that your sit bones are down and that you have to hold yourself up. Because when we sit back in the chair or...
It's fine.
When we sit back in the chair and then we have to round forward in order to reach our keyboard, then we get stuck in this like rounded posture. And when you sit like that 8 hours a day for 20, 30, 40 years, then you'll wake up one day when you're in your 40s or your 50s and you won't be able to do the things that you want to do. So remember you have a body and your body is very primal. Like our bodies haven't changed really much at all in thousands of years. Like we have the same bodies, the same joints as our ancestors, but yet our surrounding has changed a lot. Right? So we no longer have to use our body all that much in life. Like we can sit in a chair all day and our groceries like get delivered to us, right? We can do our banking from our phone. We don't have to really move in order to function in life. So I think like just becoming aware of that and asking yourself, like, where can I invite movement into my day-to-day life? Like maybe that's, choosing to walk to the grocery store instead of calling Uber Eats.
I see.
Or like maybe sitting on the floor with your laptop instead of always on a chair, changing your positions. And
I love that. So just basically put daily routines and try to move on these daily routines. But now what is specific like exercise or maybe like... because I'm not into as you are in the wellness, right? You're actually a professional in this. I just know from an overview, but like exercise or things that we can actually do for example, 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes a day. Everyone has 5 minutes in a day, right?
Totally.
What are 5 minute thing or 5 minutes exercise that you will do?
I mean, it's funny you ask this because like everybody's asks for like what is the simple quick fix thing that's gonna like make my body move good and not hurt. And so like I like to kind of steer people away from thinking that way and more think about, well, what is my body telling me? So like even for yourself, like if you've been sitting a lot, like do you have tension in your low back? Does it show up in your shoulders? Does your digestion feel slow? Like listening to the sensations of our body tells us what you need. So for example, like if your shoulders feel tense and tight, then you can stand up and roll your shoulders around, maybe reach your arms up over your head. Spinal movement is always good, right? Our spines are not meant to be fixed in one position all day. So rotating your spine, opening your spine, flexing your spine, and then hips as well. Our hips aren't meant to be stuck in this seated position. Our hips are meant to fold. They're meant to extend. So it's like, learning that our joints want to move and helping them to move.
Well, I'm actually learning a lot in this chat. So
good.
What's I would say like a problem that you commonly see on people right nowadays? You obviously work with a lot of people. What are some common like problems that people has, right? Or have?
Like in terms of their bodies and structure,
what
pain
could
points.
be like the big like pains that they have, right? For example, maybe the back, maybe the shoulders.
Yeah.
What's something that is very common? What's something that you really see often?
Yeah, I mean, things will show up in different people for different reasons. So yeah, like low back pain's common, tight hips, tight neck and shoulders. But what I find more interesting, instead of just looking at what hurts and like treating that, I like to look at the body as a whole, and I look at the structure as a whole, and I ask, like, where are things out of balance and where can we find more balance in the body? Because these pain areas that develop for people, it's usually not because they hurt that area. It's because their whole structure has become out of balance due to postural compensations, maybe sitting in one hip more, crossing one leg over the other. I like to say that we all collect our own configuration in our body over the course of our life. So depending on if you played certain sports, or maybe you did have a fall or an injury or a car accident, like all of that creates an imprint in the body. And then if those things go untreated and unnoticed, they start to show up more strongly as pain. So it's like, instead of just focusing on what hurts, I like to look at how can we create more harmony in the whole system. And I like to teach people how to discover that for themselves. Because then that's empowering, right?
Well, something you carry for life, pretty much.
Exactly. Like, I mean, I love my job. People pay me money and I stretch them and make them feel good. But really, like, I want people to be able to help themselves, right? And not be so dependent. And that's what I think, like, is sort of problematic with the medical system, is that it kind of forces people to be dependent and to rely on experts and outsource their ability to care for themselves to a so-called expert. But I believe that we all have the innate ability to heal ourselves. But we first need to be aware, and we need a little education.
I love it. I love it. So listen to what you were just saying. One of the questions that pop up in my head is like, what's your mission with this Stretch Lab? Right?
Stretch space.
Stretch space.
That's
sorry.
Okay.
My show is Starborn Labs. I'm sorry. Stretch space.
Yeah.
What's your mission with it? Right? What's something that you really want to develop in people? You always said, like, well, obviously, let these people help themselves, right? But what's your mission with it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, this isn't like defined in our mission statement, but I think, like, really, my mission as a practitioner is to empower people to understand their own sacred instruments. And, I believe we are all miracle beings, we're creations from God, and we're perfectly designed.
Love that.
And the only person that knows your body the best is you. So to help people realize that and support them on their journey to that discovery.
So Carolyn, one question that might interest to people that want to get into this wellness, like live or topic or area, whatever you want to call it. What is something that you will recommend them to read or to study that could be like a nice first step to get into this? Because sometimes we can see wellness as like sort of much science study and medical and here and there. Maybe it's not like that, right? Maybe it can be a little bit, or what's your approach to do this process a little bit more simple to enter to this wellness world?
Like where to begin?
Yeah, I would say,
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think there's so many types of wellness activities, right?
100%.
From working out to stretching, meditation, yoga, so many things could be considered wellness.
Yes.
So I think you could ask yourself, what interests you? What do you feel drawn to?
Okay.
Do you feel drawn to doing slow movement? Maybe then yoga might be a path to explore. Do you feel are you more of an endurance type of person? Maybe running might be more for you. So it's about finding the activities and the practices that you like, that bring you joy, and kind of start there.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think community really helps as well.
Okay.
Like not doing it alone, but if you have some friends or if you join a gym or a club or whatever to like go on that journey with others, I find is a really beautiful thing.
So you think that have this community can help you obviously to get into the wellness world. What are the biggest changes that you see in people doing wellness alone versus in community? What's the difference there?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So at our studio, most of our work is one-on-one. That's just the nature of our business, right? From kind of more of a business
Understandable though,
perspective. But we've always done group workshops. We run retreats. We do practitioner trainings. And we do a monthly breathwork journey at the studio where a big group of people come together and we all just breathe together for 2 hours. It's incredible.
Just breathing.
Yeah.
And someone guides this breath, right?
Yes. Yeah. And it's to music.
I'm actually interested in that. Okay.
Yeah. Just come check it out.
Okay.
We've been doing it every month for 8 years. It's really amazing. And what I notice in like the difference between healing alone versus healing in community, there's quite a difference. Like the healing alone thing it's very personal, right? It might be a good place to start, especially if you're working through, some heavier stuff or, you don't want to go through that process with other people. But I find that progress can sometimes plateau. There's those people, like I have many clients who are wonderful and have made great progress, but they just do their one-on-one sessions and they never come to any of our group offerings. They never come to retreats. And then we have people who come to our retreats, but they don't really do one-on-ones. And it's just interesting to see the type of people who do one versus the other.
Yeah.
And I think, if once you've found some healing and release and opening within yourself, then to go and kind of experience that with other people is really powerful. It kind of forces you to be a bit vulnerable, but also when we share with each other, we hear other people's experiences. It can really validate our own experience. And it can really take things to the next level.
I love that. I actually love that.
And it's fun. And it can be really fun.
I mean, I'm a people guy. I like to be around other people, but I also understand that, sometimes you need the alone time.
Totally.
Right? The me time. Do you think there's a big difference on, I know every healing is different, right? And I really understand every journey is unique. Do you think in the average picture, is there any big difference on healing alone versus like community? Is faster by any chance? Or you can't really say that because actually it's very, very unique and you cannot give an average?
Yeah, it's very personal.
Okay.
And I would also question even why ask, is it faster?
Yeah. Well, 100%. But what I'm just trying to say is like people out there are having struggles. We all have struggles, right? We all have struggles. And at least for me, I'm an anxious person. I want everything now. And when I have a problem, I want to overcome it. Right? Fast. And that's what my question comes from there, from my personal side. Like, is faster or not? Right?
Yeah. Well, I think true healing, it will disrupt your patterns.
Wow.
So if you're the type of person that wants everything now and wants everything fast, then probably what you need is to slow way down, take your time, and that's going to be hard for you. And along that process, things are going to come up. So I mean, I don't know much about AA, like Alcoholics Anonymous. Like I'm not in that scene, but I know that AA is a very powerful organization of group healing. And it's been around for a very long time. And they have like their 12 steps. They have this program.
It's like a framework pretty much.
It's a framework,
you better follow.
Yeah. So like programs like that, geared towards recovery from alcohol, drugs, or whatever. But you don't have to be, a recovering addict to heal together in that way. And I find that there's actually a lack of spaces like that in our society. And especially like as the village has kind of disappeared from our culture. I think people nowadays are really seeking ways to heal and connect in community.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this a lot with the cold plunge craze. I don't know if you've noticed this.
I
Like
come
in
across to
Vancouver,
that.
there's every beach you go to, there's just
Sauna, yeah.
people jumping in the ocean. And my husband and I have actually been teaching cold therapy and cold plunging for many years. My husband studied with Wim Hof. He's like
I
the
love that guy.
Iceman.
Yeah.
So we've run cold plunge retreats for like the past 8 years.
Wow.
And it's a really beautiful practice for bringing people together,
Yes.
doing something challenging together, overcoming it, talking about it, and you leave feeling great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the things that I want to get into, right? One of my goals in 2026 is cold plunge, right? I'm really afraid to cold water. I actually can't. Like, I'm the guy that can wake up after 5 hours of sleep at 5 a.m. I was going to be high energy, but I can't put the shower on the cold, you know? Saying that, you obviously offer a lot of wellness practice or exercises, right? And I know which one of them are the most challenging one for people, right? For example, I'm just going to the example of the cold plunge. For me, it's super challenging. Go to that. You think we got to choose our challenging exercise, or we're most like, I can do it every time exercise? What's the big difference there? When we should choose one and when we should choose the other?
Yeah, that's a good question. Sometimes it is the right time to lean into something a little challenging.
Yeah.
But then sometimes maybe it's not for you. And that's where, if we really learn about our own nervous system, that can be very powerful. So, if you've just been through something really traumatic or stressful, then probably a practice like cold plunging might not be right for you because it purposefully stresses your system.
Yeah.
And you can feel great after, but it could leave you in a little bit more of a dysregulated state. So maybe you might need something more calming and slow and kind of down-regulating. But then with that being said, I do see people who like to stay in the safety zone a lot.
Yes.
And they're feeling good, they're feeling better, and they just want to stay there. But if they could challenge themselves just a little bit to like try a new practice, like cold plunging or I don't know, running or boxing or something a little more explosive and activating, that actually could be really powerful for them, but it really just depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
And that's why, working one-on-one with a therapist or a practitioner of some kind can be very helpful to guide you on that journey safely.
Yes. So, something that I really like about this wellness thing, and when you have one-on-one like perspective with a trainer or whatever you want to call it, is that they actually guide your journey, right? What are beautiful stages on the journey? You probably can see them, right? When they're breaking through, or when they are already like feel amazing, right? What are, like, if you have to choose like one stage from all that journey, what would you keep?
Yeah, well, it is true. There is a journey, and everyone comes in at a different place.
Yeah.
But I love it when people have like their aha moment of like it just clicks, whether it's something in their body starts clicking, the way they're moving, or I lead breathwork, so that can be a very powerful way to move emotions in the body. Sometimes in a breathwork session, someone will be really struggling, kind of battling themselves, and then all of a sudden they just let go and they surrender and they stop fighting it anymore. And usually on the other side of that is a lot of joy and a lot of ease.
Wow.
So,
wow. And one of the things that you have said is stress. The word stress have resonate a lot here. Right? When was the moment that you find out that wellness can take your stress in your personal life?
Can take your stress away? Or
I mean, I can't say it can take it away, but can it slow it down? Or when did you find out that? Right? Probably was a young Carolyn. I might think, right, because of your background. But but how that moment felt for you, right? What was that discovery moment that was like, wow?
Well, funnily enough, like prior to me getting into all this, when I was a dancer, I looked healthy, I looked fit, but on the inside, I was very dysregulated and I had a lot of pain in my body. I didn't really have injuries, but I had pain and it would come and go. And some days I was completely fine and I was like doing crazy moves in the dance studio. And then some days I was in so much pain I could barely walk and I had to like teach classes sitting from a chair. So from, that's what got me into doing stretch therapy was I discovered this work and it was really helpful in my own body.
Yes.
And it taught me how to let go of control.
Let go of control.
Yeah.
Do you come across to the let them theory of Mel Robbins?
Yeah, no.
That's a book. Do you come across that?
Yes, I'm familiar with it. Yeah. So this whole letting go of control thing, I mean, you can do it physically in your body by like allowing your weight to go and somebody's moving you around and you have to trust.
Wow.
But then also that really mirrors your life too.
Getting me really curious with those things. I want to try being honest, being super genuine.
It feels so good. And yeah, a lot of people who come in for the first time, they think like, oh, I'm going to be stretched. Like I'm going to stretch out my muscles. It's going to feel good.
Yeah.
Very surface level. And then they realize, oh, like I have to let go of control. And that's what I think makes our method of stretch therapy different than some of the more like franchise businesses for stretching that you see out there, is that we are really working on a deep nervous system level. And the most important thing is that the client feels safe enough to let go of their body, and I can help them with that. But yeah, anyways, to answer your question, like back when I was dancing and I was like all of a sudden feeling all this pain, I was so frustrated and like I thought my body was failing me and I'm like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Like this is my career. When I discovered this form of bodywork, I was like, oh, it was a complete game changer of how I viewed the body and viewed movement. And I just knew instantly that I wanted to pursue it. Yeah, and I'm kind of getting off topic, but
no, it was perfect.
That was
How do you discover it? Was a book? Was a teacher? Was a mentor? Was a YouTube video? I don't know.
Well, actually, a colleague of mine that I was teaching at a dance studio with at the time had just finished her training in fascial stretch therapy, or FST.
Great.
That's a method of stretch therapy. So when I was dealing with all this pain in my body, she'd be like, hey, I can help you out. So I did a few sessions with her and she was just learning it. Like she wasn't even really offering it to the public yet. She was still a student, but it was so helpful for me. And I was like, okay, wow.
That's a click,
Yeah. So it kind of clicked right away. And then pretty soon after that, I was like, all right, I want to learn how to do this. So I did my training.
Amazing. Well, nowadays, there are a lot of traumas and things that people are going through. PTSD, depression, a lot of a struggle, right? What practice have you found in all of the wellness that can actually help you release that? Because I know, and I repeat, and I love this, every journey is equal, but what had helped you? What specifically had helped you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like never one thing.
Okay. Okay. I love that.
It's never one thing. And again, all these wellness practices, they're just like an entry point.
Okay.
Right?
I love that
They're
concept.
an entry point to self-discovery. And this is where then I start getting a bit, I see how all these trends are popping up in the wellness world, right? You need to do your cold plunge. You need to do your hot Pilates. You need to do your this. You need to do your that. And for some people, these wellness practices can become like another thing on their to-do list.
Another stress, okay.
Right? And that can kind of stress you out even more. So
I love that. I love what you're saying, actually.
And actually, influencer person that I look up to. His name's Tony Riddle. He's from the UK.
Okay.
He says this, and I think it's incredible, wellness as an industry versus wellness as a way of being.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I think, we
Okay.
need to look at that, right? It's
Okay,
like,
yes.
when are your wellness practices like kind of almost becoming this consumerist activity versus how can you implement these practices into your daily life and make it work for you?
Yeah. Well, I obviously don't want you to say names or etc. But what's one journey that you have seen, that you have guided, that actually surprised you a lot?
For myself?
Could be from other people, right? Or people that you have teach to do this, or you have guided their journey. What's one of the journeys that had like really surprised you a lot, like from the point that they arrive till the point that they leave?
Yeah, a big impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first person that pops into my mind is this client that I've had he's been with us for like 8 years.
Okay.
He's an older gentleman. I think he's 80 now. And when he started seeing me, he was in his 70s. And he's been seeing me for a long time.
Yeah.
But anyways, his goal originally, when he first found me, he wanted to work on his mobility. He wanted to work on his posture. And his goal was, I want to have better posture for my daughter's wedding, because he wanted to look nice in a suit and he wanted to feel more upright for his daughter's wedding.
Wow.
So that was his goal. And I was like, all right, I can help you with that. So we worked together twice a week for a few months leading up to the wedding, and he learned a lot about his body. This man had spent, most of his career sitting at a desk, kind of hunched over. He was a real academic, kind of brainy guy. But he was an athlete when he was young, but he had kind of let that go for his more academic career. And anyways, he reached his goal of feeling like he had good posture in his suit, but that wasn't the end of our journey. He learned to love the work, and coming to see me twice a week was like a break for him. It was time for him to connect with himself. We started doing breath work together a bit, and I started teaching him all these ways that he could move, and he eventually developed his own movement practice. He was doing stretching every morning, and then eventually he started doing personal training, fitness training with my husband. Now he's like lifting really heavy weights. He's doing boxing. And he also he actually had cancer as well during this journey. And he continued to work with us while he was doing his cancer treatments.
That's incredible.
And he is healthy and fit and in incredible shape at 80 years old.
Yeah, Carolyn, some of the things, obviously, from a perspective it came from me, that I'm not a professional in the field, is like wellness and a stretch and like this sort of practice like yoga or breathe are one part of the field, and then weightlifting and that type of strength are like a versus, right? They don't go together. I see it from that perspective, right? For me, it's very hard to think like both.
Yeah. They definitely go together.
That's where I'm pointing. Where like, how do they come together? For example, I attend to this yoga wellness class for dev people, like IT people, and I was bad at it. I was like, I was not relaxing my muscles. Was the other way around. And when I thought about like yoga, I said like, okay, I'm gonna relax my muscles. And then I figured out with the teacher there, it's like, no, like you're gonna put them tight. Yeah. And I was like, okay. But that's when I start asking myself, well, I think I have a wrong perspective, right? But because maybe for you, so obviously they do go together. But I have met people around that is like, oh no, I want to start doing some wellness practice because I'm tired of the heavy weightlifting and the stuff, right? And it's like, in that moment, it clicked me up, and it was like, no, they actually go very together. Like, why did this go together?
Yeah. Well, again, it depends on like what you need at that time in your life. So like if you've always been a gym rat, or if you've always been, if you were like a football player or something, you're probably pretty used to kind of aggressive, intense type of movement. So maybe getting started with yoga or like I don't know, qigong or something more fluid would be be really good for you. And then same vice versa. Like I spent my whole life dancing. I was always wanting to move in this really like flowy, fluid way, a lot of focus on flexibility.
Yeah.
So for me, strength training is really important to help create that balance in my body. So we need both. Like we need to be open, we need to be mobile, but we also really need to be strong.
Strong. 100%.
And like strength training can also be very good for your mind because you have to really focus on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it can be great for achieving goals because you can, kind of track your progress and slowly improve your
Discipline. Yeah.
Discipline, how much weight you can lift. But again, if you're weight training on top of a structure that's a bit twisted or you have imbalances in your body, then you can actually do some damage.
Yeah.
So it's important to kind of work on your alignment and address your imbalances while you're also building strength.
I see. So you work on this, right? This stretch is like your field. And obviously you do money with your field. You have a stretch space, like business, etc. But what if that wouldn't be your field? What if that wouldn't be your job? How will you balance your exercises, your breathings, all your stretch practices, and work?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't really speak about that from experience because
you haven't experienced it.
Yeah, I've always had the type of job that keeps me moving and keeps me active. And I guess that's been a very conscious choice in my journey. But yeah, I have many friends. I have sisters who, have desk jobs. And they need to make sure that they're offsetting those hours that you're sitting, Like, there's really no better way to put it. Like, it's just reality. Like, our bodies were not designed to sit all day. So if you sit all day, you're going to hurt eventually. And you might get away with it when you're young. But like, I'm 39 and like,
wow, you
I
don't
see,
look 39.
like people my age who don't prioritize their body, like they hurt. Yeah. So.
That's bad. Yeah. Well, if you had to choose one wellness practice, like your favorite, like what's something like you really enjoy, and probably you enjoy all of them now that I get to know you very, very a little bit more. But if you had to choose one, like I'll never quit this one. Like this is I'm addict to this wellness practice. What would it be?
Dancing.
Dancing?
Yeah. Definitely dancing, like just free dancing, like ecstatic dance or, don't need choreography, just improvisation, put on music and dance. Like that's my favorite way to move my body.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Start dancing.
Like, start dancing.
Yeah. I love that.
So fun.
Yeah. What's a piece of advice that you will give to young entrepreneurs that obviously aren't, and they aren't feeling this, or probably they are feeling it, but they are avoiding it, how they can start doing little things for their body on their daily lives?
Yeah. I think remembering that we are primal animals and we need to move our bodies or they're not going to work well. So I think just like accepting that truth.
Yeah.
Like movements like cat-cow, get down on all fours, round your spine, extend your spine, like cat-cows every day.
Every morning. Right? Or every night.
Throughout the day, right?
Okay.
Like,
okay.
I
More than once.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Like, I like to think of, I call it movement snacks. So you can have like a big meal or you can have a bunch of snacks, right? So you may not have time in the middle of your day to go do an hour workout or whatever, but surely you have 5 minutes here, 2 minutes there to, again, get down on the floor, do some cat-cows, get down in your squat, wiggle your hips around, reach your arms up. Honestly, like, the biggest thing I'm seeing now is our rib cages are becoming more and more compressed.
Wow.
And our collarbones are becoming more and more narrow.
Wow.
So simply like widening your collarbones and lifting your arms over your head. Like if you could put a hanging bar in your office and you just hang from it and like do some little stretches like this, that's going to decompress your whole rib cage and spine. It's going to help make your breathing better, which regulates your nervous system, so on and so forth.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. So it's basically like little snacks. I will probably take
Little
that
snacks,
one. I'll take that one.
yeah.
I will take that one. And these little snacks and stuff and all exercise that we can do during the day, right? You obviously recommend a couple of them, but how these exercises will have a direct impact on the mind and not only in the body. Because a lot of our audience focuses a lot on mind and not on body. And that's what I love this episode, because this is about both. And I love that. How this is going to direct impact on the mind?
Well, when you feel better in your body, you're going to feel better in your mind. Right?
Yeah.
Like you're going to feel happier, right? When you're full of tension, when you're all clogged up, like it's pretty, you're stuck, literally. Like when your body is stuck, you are stuck. So yeah, this is my concept here. Free your fascia. So at the Stretch Base, we work with the fascial system.
Fascia, okay.
Free your fascia. So your fascia is your connective tissue system in your body. It's like a sheathing of tissue that connects all your muscles, all your organs, and it weaves everywhere in your body.
Yeah.
And when that tissue becomes stuck, which it does when you sit, like even after I get up from this conversation, I'm going to want to like at least do a few stretches, because even sitting for 30 minutes makes your fascial tissue a little bit thicker. And in areas where you kind of are chronically not moving, it really thickens. So when your fascia is not free, information and your nervous system can't flow through your body as well. And that affects your brain, right? Wow. So your fascia is your brain in your body. So when your fascia is free, you are free.
And you can work better.
Yeah, everything works better. Yeah, everything functions better.
Well, you obviously are an expert on everything that we were talking, and I'm learning a lot. But where did you take all this knowledge from, right? What books you recommend? Will you recommend to people? Maybe not to technical, but maybe a little start.
Yeah.
So people can get into this wellness, not only like doing thing, but thinking thing.
Yeah, I mean, so many things. A lot of the work I've studied has been rooted in the fascial system. So there's a man named Thomas Myers. He developed a system called Anatomy Trains. And that is it's kind of like a textbook about the fascial system, but it's actually quite easy to read.
Quite plain English.
Yeah, it is. Well, he's a normal guy, which is what I've taken some courses with him. That's what I really like about his work. He really explains it easily.
What's the book again?
It's called Anatomy Trains.
Anatomy Trains.
Yeah, and it's about the myofascial meridians in your body. So his work is really great. There's so much. Yeah, Wim Hof is really interesting,
I love that
of course,
guy.
And he's kind of popular these days.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a character. I've met him. He's a cool guy.
Love it.
Yeah, there's been a bit of like controversy about him over the last little bit, but he's a really good-hearted man. And anyways, he's created a practice of breathing and cold plunging that has helped so many people, and he's made it very easy and accessible. And his book, I think it's just called The Wim Hof Method, kind of talks about his life and some of the science about the breath and the cold and what it does to your nervous system and your body, and it's really interesting as well.
Yeah. What would you say to the John Carolyn? Now that you have like get to this point of the journey, what would you say to the one that is starting?
Yeah, I mean, I guess keep following what you love, don't give up, keep going.
I love that. I love that. And one advice that comes from maybe not only wellness, but your personal life and your career and what you have developed till now to the people, what would it be?
I mean, it's a blessing to be able to do what I love and get paid for it, right? Like it's my job,
I love that. Yeah.
So I often don't give myself enough credit for what I've created. And I do work very hard, and it can easily, like the realities of running a business in Vancouver, can sometimes, it can get challenging, and it can kind of get in the way of like what am I actually wanting to create for my life? And that really is a lifestyle that feels healthy, that feels sustainable. I don't want to be slaving away at work 12 hours a day. That's why I got into the wellness space, so I don't have to do that. And yet sometimes I still do.
That was very smart.
Yeah, sometimes I still do. I, work late at night sometimes. I worry. So I think like just remembering gratitude and looking at what I have created and that, I'm so grateful for what I've created.
Love that. And last question here. If people would have to stuck with one thing from this podcast, what would it be?
Move your body in all the ways every day. Doesn't have to be so much. Movement snacks.
Movement snacks. I love that concept.
And free your fascia.
Free your fascia.
Yeah, when your fascia's free, you are free.
Perfect. Where can people find you? What's your business? If you want to give a little bit of details for that, for people like reach you out.
Yeah, our studio is called Stretch Space. We're in Kitsilano. We might have more locations in the future, but so far we're just in Kitsilano by the beach. You can come in for one-on-one stretch therapy sessions there. We have 5 practitioners. They're all incredible. We also do breathwork sessions, monthly group journeys, and we have little retreats and workshops that pop up every now and then.
I might appear on a breathing one.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested in that.
Yeah, the second Thursday of the month we have our breathwork journeys.
I'll reach you out for that.
Yeah. And you can find us on Instagram at The Stretch Space, and then our website is thestretchspace.com.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carolyn.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. You talk about EQ. Obviously, there's IQ. There's also KQ. So kinesthetic intelligence. So I think that's the piece. I should be talking about this on here, but that's the piece that is missing for most people is that kinesthetic. So kinesthetic is like our inner space, our kinesphere. And I think it's like the bridge too. Like if you're so in your mind, and also even being so in your emotions can be very overwhelming. But when we come into our body and learn to work with the intelligence of our body, it's like everywhere has a place.